Okay, so in this video we'll discuss touchscreens in general, but also the touch controllers, touch design, and how important it is to select the right solution for your application. The touchscreen is typically what defines the user experience the most, or one of the most, let's say, important factors here. So of course the display is important, the brightness of the display, colors, we care about it much in Riverdi to provide the best image. But how the device will be seen later is seen by the customer or the user, how it's easy to operate it. And if we have a well-tuned and perfectly working touch under our fingers, then the device will be seen as a, let's say, a high-end device. So choosing and selecting the right touchscreen is a very, very important. And we should focus on the beginning, because later I will show you some examples where the customers didn't focus on the touch in the first place and left it for later, and later turns out that there is a lot of problems around it and it's not so easy to change later. First, let's start with the technology. Probably you have heard about different touch technologies like resistive touchscreen, or maybe capacitive, projected capacitive touchscreens, or maybe infrared or surface acoustic wave touchscreens, which are a little bit older technologies. Nowadays, actually, most touchscreens that are manufactured, we can say 99% of all touchscreens worldwide are projected capacitive. So capacitive is a new king of the touch, and you are used to that. Actually, we are all used to that because all of the consumer grade electronics, they use capacitive touchscreens. So is it a tablet or mobile phone or any device that we interact typically is equipped with a capacitive touchscreen. And capacitive touchscreens are great, but they can be designed wrong or selected wrongly for a device. If you have a consumer grade device, then the challenges are not that high. But if we are talking about industrial touchscreens or medical device or military, then we have a lot more requirements toward the touchscreen, and we cannot select just any touch. So in Riverdi, actually, we spend a lot of time designing and crafting our touchscreens from sensor point of view to the FPC design, to the firmware, and of course selecting the right touch controller. So anything that you buy from us is our own design and is specially prepared for applications that we focus. So it's industrial, medical, and military grade applications. When selecting the right touchscreen for your application, it's worth to consider first what kind of environment it will be working. Will it be outdoor or indoor? Will I need a thick glass maybe, or will I need working with the gloves? Now, if it's outdoor, there is also a water typically, or if it's a medical device, it may be a requirement to work or not work where there is a moisture or some substances on the screen itself. We need to also consider the environment from damaging point of view. What kind of chemicals maybe will be used to clean the touch screen? What kind of sealing do we need? Do we need a full waterproof, or maybe lower IP, so just like raindrops, etc. This is all very important to decide on the beginning. Then once we decide the application and we know where we want to use it and how mechanically the touchscreen should be built, we need to decide the size of our screen, which is connected with the screen and the device that we want, and the type. But as I mentioned, most of the designs, 99% of our designs also are nowadays capacitive touchscreens. So we still manufacture and use resistive touchscreens or other technologies like infrared, but they are super niche, and typically we will recommend the capacitive unless it's really impossible to use. Yes, there are a few use cases that it's impossible to use capacitive touchscreens, but most of the cases it's good enough, or it's like perfect touchscreen. Once we decide the environment factors and the size and the type of the touchscreen, we need to decide what will be the user use case. Do we need a multi-touch or single touch or a button mode? So when, for example, we have consumer device, we need a multi-touch for sure. And we need all the gestures, yes, because when you, for example, show the photo or the map, you want to zoom in, zoom out, and you need multi-touch for that. But if you have a ticket machine maybe, or other vending machine that is outdoor machine, typically you use only the button mode. With the button mode, that is a single touch mode when we just with the fingers select single icon or letters on the screen, and we don't need to zoom anything or gestures. And why is that important? It's important because knowing the use case, we can better tune firmware for the touch. And it's a little bit different tuning when we know it's a single touch mode or a zoom. So for example, when we have the raindrops and the water, it's way easier to tune the touchscreen with the single touch mode and the button mode when we don't need a continuous mode. If we need all of that, then we need zoom out, zoom in, and maybe continuous mode, maybe we need a stronger controller, which will be more expensive for this kind of application. So it's pretty important to determine at the beginning also exact use case of the touchscreen and how it will work in the final application.